Good morning. Welcome to Newsfile. This is your most authoritative news analysis platform. And here on Newsfile, as you always know, we do always. We put Ghana first. The Supreme Court has delivered its judgment on the Afenyo marking versus the Speaker of Parliament and the Attorney General in respect of the controversial vacancy of 4 seats for 4 MPs, 3 on the NPP side and 1 on the NDC side. Of the 3 on the NPP side, 1 came in as an independent MP and has now filed to contest on the ticket of the NPP. 2 came into Parliament on the ticket of the NPP and have filed to contest as independent candidates. The NDC MP has filed to contest as an independent candidate. And since the Speaker was called upon to make that announcement or communication to the House, or give that information to the House, this is what has resulted in this case that is said to be the reason Parliament has not been able to sit to consider very important business over a long time. A majority of 5 of the 7 justices who sat on the substantive matter hold that the Speaker's interpretation of the constitutional article 97 1G and F is wrong. 2 of the justices dissented on a matter of jurisdiction. That is to say, once they found out at the outset that the jurisdiction of the Supreme Court was wrongly invoked and that the Supreme Court doesn't have jurisdiction to determine the matter, they did not proceed beyond that to look at the substance. Because when a court does not have jurisdiction, every and anything it does is void, is wrongful. The majority decision says the Speaker's interpretation that because you have left your party and you have announced that you are going to contest on another party's tickets, or you are going independent, or you are independent, you are joining another party, for the future Parliament makes you lose your seats. The majority says that interpretation will automatically punish MPs by requiring their seats to be vacated in Parliament for indicating an intention to change their party affiliation in a future term. This will certainly be inconsistent with such provisions of the Constitution like Article 21(1)(e), 55(1), and 42 of the Constitution, which protects rights to political freedom, including the right to choose political platforms without undue restrictions, among others. They say that the focus of a purposive approach to construing Article 97 1G and F is to maintain electoral integrity, guaranteeing that where any MP seat is declared vacant, constituents can exercise their democratic right to elect a representative who aligns with their values. In this sense, any purposive and reasonable interpretation must consider the potential for a by-election to facilitate that democratic continuity. By contrast, any interpretation that creates a vacancy without the possibility of by-election, as it is in this case, undermines the democratic process. The framers of the Constitution intended constituents to have uninterrupted representation through the parliamentary term, and any interpretation that undermines continuous constituent representation during a parliament session term is constitutionally untenable. We'll be right back to get into the details of this judgment. Some say it is a brutum fulmen, meaning it is an empty boast because it does not order the Speaker of Parliament to do anything. It does not order Parliament to do anything. Is that what it is? Is the EC ready for election 2024? We'll be right back. Welcome back. So little Kyle says we should keep the peace at all costs. Thank you very much. And we are beginning to canvass for you whether or not the Electoral Commission is ready for the 2024 elections. A number of issues coming up, including the printing of ballots. We have Dr. Bosman Asare, Deputy Chairperson, Corporate Services at the Electoral Commission, Evans Nemako, Director of Research and Elections of the New Patriotic Party, Dr. Rashid Tanko Computer, Deputy Director of Elections and IT of the NDC. We'll canvass that for you briefly, and then we'll be joined by Justice William Atuguba, retired Supreme Court Judge, Professor Ernest Kofi Abochi, Dean, UPSA Law School, Gary Nimakomafo, Director Legal Affairs of the NPP, and Inus Husseini, lawyer and former MP, Tamale Central, former Minister Lands and Natural Resources and Roads and Highways as well. Let me welcome Dr. Bosman Asare, Evans Nemako, and Rashid Tanko Computer. Good morning. Thank you for joining us. All right, so this is what I'm going to do, actually. I'll take a quick break, and I return with my first set of guests to briefly look at the readiness of the Electoral Commission going into the elections. There are a few issues coming up. The printing of ballots. There's been some issues that are being raised. The Electoral Commission says it has retrieved, or is it stopped the printing of ballots for two particular regions, and they are going to have to print them all over again. We have a total of 18 million and 7,000 plus now captured on the voters register. Dr. Bosman Asare, thanks for joining us.
Thank you, and good morning as well.
Great. So now we can, at this point, how many days to elections, say safely that you are ready?
Yeah, let me put it clearly that the Electoral Commission is fully ready for the December 7th elections, as well as the special voting on December 2nd. All the necessary measures that must be put in place to ensure a very successful, peaceful process, all of them have been done. We are still left some few issues that are outstanding, which have to do with the printing of, and we believe that by this, everything will be completed, and all the we dispatch the various regional assembly.
I'm not getting you that clearly, as your lines seem to be breaking a bit. You are ready, of course, except for the Ahafu and Volta regions, right?
Yes, that's why I said by next week, all of them will be completed and dispatched to the various regional police ambushes.
What happened to these two regions? Incorrect serial numbers. How does that happen?
Normally, in the printing of the ballots, the printing is done. When they do the printing of the ballots, then they put the serial numbers on each.
Your call has been put on hold. Please.
Okay, we seem to clearly have a little issue there. We've lost him. Okay, Dr. Asare, are you there? Hello, Dr. Bosman Asare. Okay. Dr. Boss, let me go to Dr. Rashid Tanko Computer. Thanks for joining us, sir.
Very well. Good morning to you.
Right.
Samson.
Great. So from where you sit as the opposition, you share the view that the Electoral Commission is ready, except with the issues for Ahafo and Volta regions with incorrect serial numbers, which is being corrected?
Very well. I mean, we raised this issue about 3 weeks ago about the anomalies we found in the printing of ballots for Volta region and Ahafo at Fronstadt. I mean, we raised the issue at IPAC, and we told the Electoral Commission they need to take actions on this because it appeared Fronstadt were challenged in printing the ballot papers for these 2 regions. I mean, the issue has to do with the serial numbers and then the quality of ballot being printed from those 2 regions. And so we raised it with EC. EC tried to explain it out that they will send their men to go and try and help solve the problems. Unfortunately, it kept on recurring until yesterday when we went to IPAC meeting and the EC took the decision that, look, there's a need to take the contract from Fronstadt and give it to Buck Press and the Act Commission for them to print these 2 regions. Because actually, those ballot papers, if they were delivered to the regions, it would have resulted to a lot of rejected ballots. Because when you print on it, the serial numbers are not correct. Some of them were just not correct at all. And some were being inputted onto the thick black lines, showing that you could not see the serial numbers. And so they were virtually challenged. And so it's a welcome news that the Electoral Commission has decided to take the contract from them. And so that we will shred
Dr.
all
Rashid,
the ballot papers.
Dr. Rashid, computer, I need you to listen to me as we go on. Once again, do we understand that it is the NDC that raised this complaint?
Very well, yes, we raised it. We raised the complaint and then and copiously indicated it to the Electoral Commission during an IPAC meeting. We raised the issues.
Okay. How did you get to know about this ahead of the EC itself that is responsible for the printing?
Yes, something we have our agents 24/7 monitoring the printing process in all the printing houses. And so our agents indicated to us that they've realized that the numbering or the serial numbers being inputted on some of the ballot papers were not correct. And they were not visible. And some of the quality of the ballot papers being printed were also being challenged. And so we went there to look at them. And we saw that especially K2 South, K2 North were terribly bad. So they were trying to make amends. But we realized that we needed to check all the others they have printed. Because our agents were continuously telling us that those ballot papers could not be used for purpose. So we escalated the matter to the Electoral Commission to take action on it. And so it's well-intentioned if they have seen that there's something wrong with it and they need to take action on it.
Right. So this has to do, it's a problem that is coming from the printer, correct?
Yeah, it's coming from the printer, the print house, Fronstadt. Initially, we realized that they were challenged in doing the printing. And we thought they shouldn't have been part of the printing process. Because if you look at the way they handled the whole process, clearly they were not up to standard.
Okay, hold on briefly for me. Let me get back to Dr. Bosman-Asare. Dr. Bosman-Asare, is it not worrying or it's okay that once again it is the NDC that is detecting this and bringing it to your attention for action?
Mr. Ainen, let me place this on record. The NDC didn't inform us about this particular printing house. We got the information from our own internal auditors who went around and our tweeted it there. I personally was this printing house on Sunday together with the Deputy Chairman for Operations. So the Electoral Commission took it upon itself based on the feedback we were getting from our officers on the ground. We didn't hear of any complaint formally or informally from the NDC. It was the decision of the EC that after the printing house assured the Electoral Commission that they will be able to provide all the serial numbers appropriately. And our team informed them that still there were gaps. And we took the decision that to ensure ballot integrity, it will be appropriate for us to give it a voter region to us commercials and Ahafo to Buck Press, 2 of our distinguished printers. So if I think it's Dr. Tanko, if Dr. Tanko says that they were the ones who alerted EC before the EC acted. There is no evidence supporting that.
How did the EC get to know about it?
The printing house.
How did the EC get to know about this?
No, we have in all the printing houses, sir, we have our men who are permanently positioned to work there. Apart from our men who are also working there, about 8 of them, we also have our auditors, our security personnel, and senior officials from the head office who go there regularly. And I mentioned to you, I was personally there last week on Sunday, the first day of this week. So our team informed them that although they thought that the printing house could be able to survey the situation, still there were gaps. And because there were gaps, the commission took the decision that to ensure the integrity of the ballot, we would be better off giving the voter reading to us commercials and a half to the Box Press Limited.
So the problem is solved, or you are in the process of resolving it?
Oh, the problem has been resolved, and we believe that these 2 printers should be. Ahafo is 6 constituencies. Voter reading is 18 constituencies. So for both the parliamentary and presidential, you are looking at 12 constituencies for Ahafo, 36 constituencies for voter reading. And we believe with the track record of this printing house, later by Monday, printing should have completed, then the checking will go on. So we believe we are still on track. We are within.
What are the reasons? What are the reasons you have been given by the printer for this error, which would have led to, as it were, disenfranchisement of many voters in the Volta and Ahafo regions?
No, initially I think I was making that point, but the line went off. They had a problem with the automatic generation of the serial numbers. So they were doing a manual process, and the printer has explained to us, and we've also made them aware that we wanted to ensure that all regions constitute get the required ballot as well as the serial numbers. So we have to move on. And this is something we will continue to engage them in the future.
As far as you are concerned, having analyzed the process so far, this was a genuine mistake. It was a harmless situation, correct?
Oh, yes, very, very genuine. And you know, the ballots are checked by our people. I know the NDC has 2 agents over there, the MPP, all of them. But we have about 8 agents. In addition to that, we have additional officers who go there regularly. And our job is to make sure that the ballots going to each week, they are the right ones as well as the right serial numbers. And this is something the commission will promote the integrity of the ballot at all the polling of our.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Kindly hold on for me. Evans Nemako, thanks for joining us. You are satisfied with the process to correcting the situation in the printing for Ahafo and the Volta region?
Yes, good morning and thank you for having me. I think for us as New Patriotic Party, we are. Something on the 25th of October this year, the Electoral Commission wrote to political parties when they realized that there were challenges with Yasaku, one of the printing houses engaged by EC to participate in the printing of the ballot. For us, we are everywhere that the printing is ongoing. And so we even didn't really appreciate the point of EC inviting us to an emergency IPAC to discuss with us their decision to give Volta and Ahafo to the 2 new printers. It is the administrative responsibility. We are only concerned that the ballot, when printed and having gone through all the processes, will meet the required definition of a ballot paper. It must come without blot, without any inscription that would differ from party candidate, name, party colors, logo, and that stuff. And so, yes, for us, whether NDC want to claim the IPAC meeting was sanctioned because, or it was at their instance, it's neither here nor there. When EC did the 25th notification, they didn't invite us into any emergency meeting. we are making sure as a party, everywhere that the printing is ongoing, our agents are there and they report accordingly to the secretariat, and leadership take due cognizance of any issue that comes to its attention. Okay. And so far, we are okay, except that we are mindful of time, and we expect that we all work within the time frame. An extension of the time is an extra cost on us. We have to endure. Democracy, they say, is expensive.
Briefly, are you satisfied with the resolution of the Ekuadonko situation, where her face will remain on the ballot?
Well, we would have wished that it wouldn't have her on the ballot. You don't have to confuse the voter. But we are constrained according to the EC timelines, yes, and then financial implication.
Okay.
Yes, but other issue coming up that where Madam Ekuadonko is should be crossed and all that, the New Patriotic Party holds different opinions. That if she's been left on the ballot, there must be no attempt to cross the name or her picture on the ballot. That would mean that ballot would have been altered. Under normal circumstances, if you look at the CIs, where candidate withdraws, it is for the EC to realign, and therefore all those below number 3 would have been pushed up. But Samson, the ballot paper, when it is done, has no numbers. The initial narrative of the NDC was that their number 8 is constant, and it became a narrative like MPP1 NDC. Neither here nor there.
Okay, Evans, thank you. Dr. Rashid Tanko, are you also satisfied with the resolution of the Ekuadonko situation? Her image will remain.
Yeah, Samson, we are very much satisfied with that, and I strongly disagree with my friend Evans that there's nothing like that in the CI. We say you should realign in a position. There's nothing like that. You should have quoted the relevant portion
since you guys are satisfied, let's not debate it, because let's not create a controversy around that. I think one issue which is of concern to you, the NDC, has been Joanna Jan Kujo. Is she on the ballot now?
Yes, Samson, she's on the ballot now. She's number 2 on the ballot. And I can assure you she's going to win the seat back for the NDC. She's on the ballot.
Right.
And we are very grateful to our legal team for doing a yeoman's job.
Right. Dr. Bosman Asare, can you confirm that after the court vacated the injunction that was placed against Joanna Jan Kujo, she's now on the ballot for the constituency? Dr. Asare?
Hello, can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yeah, I can confirm that she's on the ballot. And I need to place it on record that the commission said because of the injunction against her, we cannot have her on the ballot.
That's correct.
Once the injunction was removed, the road was paved for her to be on the ballot.
Right. Ekuadonko's situation, what if in the end she wins the election? What will you do?
Now we know we have 12 candidates. So any vote for Madame Ekuadonko will be annulled. So it's not possible she can win.
Are you going to cross her image out as was suggested, or you are leaving it that way?
No, based on the discussions we've had with the parties, we are going to leave it that way.
So there will be some voters who may vote for her.
And those votes will be rejected. They will not be counted. So our job as Electoral Commission is to educate the public, the media, educate the public to let them know that although Madame Ekuadonko's name appears on the ballot, she is not one of the candidates. So we shouldn't be voting for her. So I remember yesterday at a program, I said that if you love Madame Ekuadonko, this is not the time to show the love by voting for her. There are 12 other candidates who are vying for the presidency. Identify one of them and vote for that person.
Right. So now we are ready for a takeoff without any problems by the 1st for the special voting and 7th for the main voting as well. So yes, hold on, Dr. Bosman. you would have the last word. Dr. Rashid Tanko, with the exception of these that we have mentioned, everything is all right, correct?
Yes, Samson, everything is all right, except the closed polling stations, which the Electoral Commission, as of now, has still not given us the names of those polling stations they've closed. Their last statement indicated they've closed certain polling stations and migrated about 884 voters to different polling stations. Yet they have not indicated to us those polling stations where they closed them and where they have migrated those votes to. So we are still insist that the EC need to come clean. They should let us know which polling station they have closed. And then so that we all amend our records.
What is the mischief? What is the mischief to be corrected in that?
The mischief is that we have a number of polling stations that we are dealing with, and we know where all of them are located. Currently, they told us they have about 40,975 polling stations that we are dealing with. Then, just the last but one IPAC meeting, they indicated they have closed about some polling station, number of polling stations, which resulted to about 884 votes, which has been moved to different areas. And the reason they were given is that certain communities said they don't want those polling stations, or they were having problem with numbers. That's why they closed them. So we're asking, which are the polling stations? Where are they? Which of them, among the 40,000 plus that you have to, which of them have you collapsed? That is what we're just asking. They should come clean with it.
Thank you. Evans, do you share in this issue also, or you have other issues that you wish the EC can address before the 1st for the special voting and the 7th for the general voting?
Yeah, I think that, Samson, when it comes to the decision of the EC on Amenfi Central, we disagree. What really called for the whole injunction, in which case the EC was injuncted. Somebody falsified her voter ID and it's before the court, and you said it should just go. They started among the NDC themselves. What is crime is crime. But you move on. For us as New Patriotic Party, if you look at the final register we got, we've done what has to be done, and we are dealing with it as such. I don't see the confusion of the NDC. These additional polling stations, if they had been done, we are going to have more than the 40,648 polling stations for the main, and in addition to the 320 for the special voting. Unless the ballot statistics that was given to us, which Dr. Tanko has a copy, is different from what is being done at all the print houses. So ballots are printed to reflect the number of voters in all these polling stations. I don't really see their issue, but that is usual of the NDC. For us as New Patriotic Party, we are certain that we will go through the December 2 and December 7 elections successfully, and Dr. Bawumia will be crowned the president.
Gentlemen, hold on there. There's one more issue I'll come to you guys on. It's about the fears of the Electoral Commission about disinformation or misinformation during the process, which can cause trouble. And we are also reading how, as it were, there are phony ex-accounts that appear to be meddling in the country's elections, at least according to some of the reports that we are seeing. Dr. Bosman-Asare, you heard the concern, which is a no concern to Evans Nemako, even though Evans has a concern about the fact that you have allowed Joanna Jan Kujo to go on.
Thank you for this opportunity again. I want to say first to Dr. Tanko that I think what he considers to be an issue is not an issue at all. Commission made it very clear that some polling stations were closed because of certain reasons. You can write to the commission to explain. However, we've given you all the statistics. You have all the numbers. So I think that for you to be fair to the Electoral Commission, please, you know this is something which is very harmless. It's not something which is so relevant for you to talk about.
But have you told them which specific stations have been closed?
No, they can write to us. We'll make it available to them. This is not a problem at all. It's not a problem.
But why should they write to you? Why aren't you proactive in giving the information that these are the polling stations that have been closed, and these are the reasons for which they have been closed?
No, we gave the reasons to them, and I said a number of polling. Usually, what we do is that, when we are registering, at times some of our officers will place some of the voters at certain polling stations. But by the time you realize there will be only one person at a polling station, only two persons at a polling station, and there is a nearby one which is polling station A. So this is something which is routine. So I'm surprised that in the national discussion, Dr. Tanko will bring it. But this is something, if they engage us, we can make it available.
Okay, if I understand that you're saying the usual situations where you have like station A and B, so you may have collapsed A and then B is still there, and the people who would have gone to vote in A will vote at B, which would normally be perhaps within the same building premises.
Yes,
okay.
And as we speak now, Mr. Ayen, we still have polling stations with about 22 registered voters, 50 registered voters. And these are communities that are far away from the other polling stations. So because of that, we maintain them as they are. So they are there, some of them too, but the nearby, within the same school compound, the A is there. So those are the things. And the fact that we've given you all the statistics regarding the printing of the ballots is an indication that there is nothing the commission is hiding. And I was going to respond to Mr. Nimaku as well.
Please do quickly.
Mr. Nimaku, I wanted to make the point that the commission disqualified Madame Joanna on the basis of the injunction against her. Then once the injunction was removed, the commission had the obligation to have her on the ballot. And we also believe that if the substantive issue is still ongoing and in future she was declared unfit to be a member of parliament, the legal process will continue. So from the perspective of the commission, we have done what we are legally bound to do.
Okay. Now, we have heard from the commission that your major concern going into the election would be how to counter disinformation or misinformation. Let me begin by asking Evans Nemako, are you concerned about this situation?
Yes, Samson. The New Patriotic Party is very much concerned, and we go each length and every length to ensure that we put this serious canker to where it belongs. We can't afford to have a system where the truth will not prevail. Those of us who have the benefit of being in Commonwealth, our motto has always been the truth stands. At this point, I'll call on the media to really do the needful by naming and shaming, and the security to unravel all those behind such misinformation and disinformation. It doesn't help. It doesn't give us a perfect system, and so all must rise to fight against this canker. The New Patriotic Party has always complied with the law. We will continue to do so. We've always insisted that the rule and the law must be allowed to operate without fear or favor. That is why when we are engaging and we realize that we are within the confines of the law, we pursue all programs as such. It is one reason behind our presidential candidate program and policy that we must insist that in this era of information revolution, you make sure you screen out the best and leave the chaff. Disinformation and misinformation will not lead you anywhere, but the media must be ready to name and shame. And the security must prosecute all those who will be found culpable.
All right, Evans, you can see on your screen, I'm projecting the report that speaks about phony X accounts that are meddling in Ghana's elections. And the report is about a network of 171 bot accounts, robotic accounts, if you like, which is being used by AI to write political posts. And we understand from the report, let me read, it says that 171 bot accounts on X are using ChatGPT to write posts in favor of Ghana's right-wing incumbent president. Disinformation on X has exploded after Elon Musk bought the company, according to a 2023 report from the European Union. Now, they say that these accounts appear to be engineered by the NPP, and they are posting comments with the hashtag Baumia 2024, hashtag NPP, hashtag it is possible, and they are seeking, whilst they project Baumia, then they put out disinformation about the NDC. What do you know about this?
From where I sit, I can't accept this. I don't know where this is coming from, and those behind this must be invited by the security to give further details about it. So those behind this issue will be dealt with by the law. I have no idea where this is coming from, and I will not accept this as coming from the New Patriotic Party's campaign. We will not do anything of this sort.
As we understand, this particular 171, they generate the posts around certain time, almost on a daily basis, and they spread it all over. So these days you would see that there are even certain posts on social media, and you don't need anyone to tell you that they are actually fake and pieces of disinformation, particularly about the opposition. You haven't seen this? I think we must
all help the security to get into this issue very well, and all those involved be dealt with by the law.
Okay. Next, I want you to look at this also. It is whether you endorse it or you don't know about that one too. It is requesting members of the public to get on this and to answer some questions and get 500 Ghana cedis instantly. And it simply asks them to click. When you click, this is what you see. You see New Patriotic Party. You see Baumia on the left-hand side. And then you see where it asks the question, is Mahmoud Baumia good for president? You are supposed to click yes or no. You click yes to continue, then you win 500 Ghana cedis.
Something. The New Patriotic Party will spend our limited resources carefully, so we'll win elections, and not this arrangement that we will spend our money on you because you've answered questions on the internet. That is not the focus of our campaign. You've heard our presidential candidate going around the country. It's on policy issues, not on schemes like this.
Okay.
We don't support this, and it is not coming from the New Patriotic Party's campaign, nor the headquarters of the New Patriotic Party.
It's good you are educating the public, some who may not know and may fall for it if it is, as it were, a phony process that is going on. Dr. Rashid Tanko, are you guys aware of these, including the 171 bot accounts that these researchers have uncovered? And if you are aware, what have you done about it?
Samson, we are very much aware of this crooked behavior of our opponent. They have been attacking our presidential candidate with fake news day in, day out. So we were not surprised at all when this report came out. And then they were pointing accusing figures at the NPP for having behind all this kind of funny creation of accounts and using that to attack the credibility of His Excellency John Dramani Mahama. We are not surprised at all, because if you have a government whose main aim is propaganda to rule a country, what do you expect? They think that the Ghanaians are so gullible that they can get away with all manner of fake news, fake accounts, targeting individuals of our party. Just recently, you saw what they did against our chairman, Honorable Johnson Asedu Nketia. On the issue of free SHS, they just did some funny accounts, funny videos using AI to muzzle his voice, indicating that he said when we come to power, we are going to cancel free SHS. And these are things going on. We have been tracking them down. All these things, some of them allegedly coming from the Flagstaff House, because they have tax officers who are in fact, their roles is just social media. So you go on their timelines on social media, Facebook, X, and you see the kind of posts they put out there daily. And that tells you that this is not fair enough. So I think that the onus lie on the media to hold them to strict proof. I'm not surprised my brother is running away from it. That is what they are doing. They have a whole
Dr. Tanko,
that is into spreading fake news against our flag bearer and the NDC.
Yes, wait, Dr. Tanko, hold on. Evans wants to ask you a question.
Yes, please. If you can't justify your allegation, don't add to it. Something, this issue, I don't know which body undertook this survey or this research and coming out with this. And I think that at this point, we should help the security to delve deep into it and all those involved be brought to book.
Since these campaigns are in favor of the NPP and against the NDC, and you don't know about it, you have not sponsored it, as you said, don't you think you should also take some step because it's not good for your image?
Please, I said earlier that we are very much focused. We will not be detracted by these misinformations and disinformation. You've heard our flag bearer everywhere he's been to. He speaks to issues, programs, how he will transform Ghana.
No, my question is, my question is, if your name
into that, Tanko sits here to say that they know it is coming from Jubilee House. He should go and point out to the police and let the police investigate it.
Yes, Evans, my question is this. Evans, my question is this. My question is this. Evans, my question is this. If some information were put out against your candidate and it's false, you would have did a counter and say this is fake news. If these things are being done in favor of your candidate, and the other one I showed you is a campaign for 500 for every one who participates to win 500 cedis for your candidate. Don't you think you have to take steps rather than say leave it like that because you are not responsible for it?
We don't subscribe to these false propagandist move to pursue our political agenda. We know that you have to work within the confines of the law and get the people to buy into your policy program. The programs of the presidential candidate, Dr. Bambia, is superior, is getting endorsement across board, and so why should this be the formula?
Okay, you don't want to answer my question. Evans, thank you.
Who are in charge of propaganda.
Evans, since you don't answer my question, thank you. Let me move on. Rashid Tanko, I think what we can say is that if you also say you have seen this, you are concerned, you should demonstrate to us that you are reported to the police, you are reported to the cybersecurity, and be tracking if they are doing something. You don't think that's what you should be doing?
We did. In fact, on countless number, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, spokesperson, Madam Joyce Bauer, wrote to the CID department and wrote to the security service, the cyber security authority, about fake news attacking His Excellency John Dramani Mahama. Several of that, we have written to them. And then they have not taken action on it.
Okay.
Several accounts. I can give you copious examples of letters that we have written to the CID, trying for them to arrest and prosecute those fake guys, which they trace down to some of them officers at the Flagstaff House.
Really?
That's what we are talking about. We are not making news out of this.
Okay, Rashid, thank you. We can end it there. Thank you very much. Now, Dr. Bosman Asari, you have the last word on this. These things are going on. And to be frank, there are a lot of the fake stuff that you also see that are against the NPP and their candidates. The EC, what proactive steps are you taking so that these, acts of misinformation, disinformation don't affect the elections, particularly declaration of results and so on?
Again, from the EC side, we are mainly concerned about protecting the integrity of the Electoral Commission. So what we've done at our level is to have our officials responsible for social media and other channels of communication to always be on the alert and inform us of any new developments that come up against the work we are doing. And we try as much as possible to respond to them quickly and appropriately. But on the side of the political parties, what we can say as Electoral Commission is that we think that it is not appropriate. We do expect that the parties will also have systems in place to ensure that their people, their surrogates who are working for them, they comply. They don't undertake actions which will mar the integrity of the election. And we also expect the security agencies to be on top of their business, because ours is a developing society. Any minor skirmishes could lead to larger issues which we cannot contain. So we expect the security agencies, especially the NIB, the National Intelligence Bureau, the Ghana Police Service, through their CID department, to ensure that things are properly done. And I believe that Ghana is on track to achieve another successful general election, and the Electoral Commission is fully committed to ensure.
You have an expectation, but are you moving beyond? You have an expectation.
Elections as far as 2024 is concerned.
You have an expectation, but are you moving beyond simply having an expectation and announcing it on radio?
Are we moving beyond just having
an expectation? Because the integrity of the election and the results could be undermined in a way that can bring catastrophic, situations. So what are you doing? That was my question. Not what your expectations are of the security.
For us, when you look at the processes of declaring the results and the measures we've put in place, we don't anticipate that something can be done to undermine that. Because, Mr. Yenini, we start from the polling station, where we work together with the agents of the political party, the media also there. From there, we go to the population sector at the constituency level. Then from there, we go to the regional level. So with the measures we put in place, we don't anticipate that there will be any iota of misinformation or disinformation that can undermine that. And as I said, our officers are on the ground at the various stages of the process to ensure that we deliver clearly on our mandate come December 7th.
All right. Thank you very much, Dr. Bosman Asare, also to Rashid Tanku Computer and Evans Nemako. Thank you. And this is where I'll take a first break.